I didn't try many things growing up. I was always too scared to make mistakes. My friends were like, "The girl, let's try this new thing," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm fine." I would just play it off like I just don't want to do it. Why would I need to do it? But deep down, I actually wanted to do it, but then I was just scared that I was gonna make mistakes. And I wish at that time that I knew that life is literally about making mistakes. The whole point of our existence is to make mistakes. And you may be like, why would the point of my life be to make mistakes? But I'm going to explain it in this video. Throughout my high school years, I played cricket. In fact, in every single year, I was in the top team for cricket. So A team, then eventually I was in the school's first team. I was actually quite good at cricket, but then I never reached the potential that I should have reached. See, I had the potential to be one of the best players in the country. One of my coaches, when I was in Form 2, so that would be 13, 14 years old, he said that I was probably technically one of the best players in the country, but whenever it came time to perform, whenever the pressure was on, I'd always go out. I'd always make a mistake. I'd always do something that was uncharacteristic. He said that there was actually a player who I'm actually good friends with still, who went to the UK. It's not Dane. So Dane, if you're watching this, it's not you, it's another guy. He went to the UK and this coach said that I was actually better than this guy, but he performed better. And then that can bring the argument of like, are you actually better than the person if they're always performing better? But trust me. It's like, let's say someone is good at maths when they're doing the homework, when they're doing the classwork. Then when the exam comes, they start freezing, they start making stupid mistakes, and you're like, what's going on? How are you making those mistakes? So that's how I was with cricket, and especially with batting. With bowling, I was extremely confident in how I was bowling, so I never really had this fear of making mistakes. But the thing which held me back, especially with batting, is I was afraid to make mistakes. Because with bowling, you're always going to get another chance. When you're bowling in cricket, there's 6 balls in an over, so you have 6 chances to get the batsman out each over. And then you're going to have multiple overs on top of that. But with batting, you have 1 chance. You can't really mess up. If you mess up, you're out. You're done for the game. So that used to weigh heavily on my soul whenever I'll be batting, because I would be like, flip, I can't make mistakes. So because I had a fear of making mistakes, whenever a ball would come, like the perfect opportunity to play a certain shot, I'd play it safe. Block. So block is essentially when you're just defending, and I'd have an opportunity to attack, to score many runs, and I'll just block. Another perfect ball, and I'll just play it tentatively, without any force, without any vigor. I'll just like, instead of like putting my all into the shot, I'll just swipe my hands at it. I'm actually quite big. I have long arms, like long levers, so I should be able to hit the ball a long way. But in my team, I was actually towards the bottom in terms of the length that people could hit the ball. And that's because I would never put my all into it, because I was scared of making a mistake. Because my mentality was like, if I make a mistake, if I'm putting my all into it, then what's going to happen? It's going to look bad. But what I didn't realize, especially at that time, is that mistakes are the point of living. See, we make mistakes so that we can get better. Did you hear that? We make mistakes so that we can get better. There is no way you can improve without making a mistake. Because if you never make a mistake, you will never know where you can improve upon. So because I was so scared of making mistakes, I wasn't improving. I'm actually not proud to say this, but the 15-year-old version of me at cricket was the same as a 17-year-old version of me. Like, I didn't progress because I was always scared of making mistakes, so I didn't make mistakes. So because I didn't make mistakes, or because I wasn't aware of my mistakes, I wasn't able to improve. So if you're still watching up until this point, I know for a fact that you have the same dilemma, that you are scared of making mistakes, that you are scared of messing up, you're scared of people laughing at you, right? But making mistakes is the point of life. It literally is the point of life. It would be stupid to make the same mistake, but as I said, we make mistakes so that we can get better. So it's not opening yourself up or saying, it's okay, I'm going to make so many mistakes. It's allowing yourself to make those mistakes and learning from them. That is the key to improvement. That is the key to getting better. There is no person in this world that is the best in their field. There is no sportsman, there's no greatest of all time who didn't make mistakes, who was flawless throughout his life. They started out just like you. They may have had a bit of natural talent, but they started out just like you. And they made the same mistakes that you're making right now. The only difference is they didn't beat themselves up for making those mistakes, but they learned from them. They pushed. See, you have the potential to be the greatest in the world at something, but you're never going to get there if you're always scared of making mistakes. You have your goals right now that you so want to achieve, that you haven't achieved for the past, I don't know how many years. For every year, up until now, you've been setting goals, you haven't been hitting them. But this year, allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself the gift of failure. Because when you're given the gift of failure, inside that box, inside that gift of failure is the opportunity to improve. And I wish I knew this when I was younger, because I can guarantee with absolute certainty, if I had this mindset when I was younger, I would have been a lot better at cricket. I would have been a lot better at many things in my life. Even football. Football, I wasn't that good, but I would have been much better because I wouldn't have been afraid to make mistakes. Like, even right now, I believe that everyone is good at a certain thing. Like, my dad is, he's doing something in the background, so if there's noise, and I apologize, it won't last for more than like 2 minutes. So even right now, I believe that everyone is good at something. So whatever you're good at, just think about what you're good at, or the thing that you're best at right now. It may be video games, it may be, stupid things like video games, things that don't progress your life, right? It may be things like that. Or it may be you're good at a particular sport, you're good at, let's say, bench press or whatever. Were you always good at it? Was there not a time where you made many mistakes, but instead of beating yourself up, you learned from those mistakes? You channeled that energy that you get from failing, like, I failed, you channeled it into improving yourself. Like, I find it interesting that we actually make mistakes so that we can get better. See, even in this reel, I was on Instagram the other day, and I don't know if you know Jay Shetty, but he's this, like, relationship, whatever, like, I don't know what he is. He's like an author, he has a podcast, he's a YouTuber, whatever. So in that podcast, he said that we get into bad relationships so that we can be a better partner for our future relationships. And it's not saying get in a bad relationship voluntarily and choose, I'm going to get with this person because I know it's going to be a bad relationship and it's going to make me better. But it's like, you will put yourself in a situation that you thought was going to be good and it turns out to be bad. But just because it turns out to be bad, you would have made mistakes. And because you made those mistakes would allow you to be a better partner for your future girlfriend. Everything in life is about making mistakes. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you're into fitness. So as Tom Platz said, you've achieved failure. Every day strive to achieve failure. I know it sounds corny. It's probably the corniest thing. I've said a lot of corny things. But strive to achieve failure, my friend. Alright, I'll catch you.